in my circle? Who the one who be the snakes? Who gon' fold up under pressure? Who gon' understand the stakes? Who gon' wait to get their food to try to take from off my plate? Who the love? Who gon' understand I'm hurt? Who gon' love me unconditionally and try to make it work? Who gon' party once I'm gone and shed a tear once I'm in dirt? I ain't asking for too much, I'm trying to understand my worth.
Welcome to the next episode of Give Me My Crown podcast.
Give Me My Crown podcast.
And we back at y'all with another episode of the Give Me My Crown podcast. And as y'all can see, we got a guest on here with us today. I'll allow her to introduce herself.
Hello, my name is Kendra Beard. Nice to meet you all.
And so Kendra is somebody we went to school with back in Danville, Virginia. Kendra, we'll let you kind of go through your journey of essentially from high school until today. Okay. And then we'll kind of pick you off from there, kind of ask some questions, things from there along the way.
Okay, cool. So from high school, I did nursing for a little bit. It didn't kind of work out. That ain't my field. So I went back to school for network engineer, and I got a internship with the City of Durham in their IT department. And I have been there ever since. For 11 years, I've been working at technology solutions for the city of for the city of Durham for that long, and upgraded my skills with computers and software and things of that nature. I've always been interested in it, but now it's kind of working in the field that I love. So that has been a blessing to me. I've had other opportunities within the IT field, so I'm just blessed to, continue on in a passion of mine.
Okay. So nursing, Kendra, what made you go into nursing and what made you pivot from nursing?
So what made me go into nursing was that's all that they taught you in Danville. I have realized that you didn't have that many choices coming out of high school. You either was gonna be a nurse, an auto tech. They stopped the culinary school, or you gonna be a dental hygienist. That was your only choices that you had. So going into nursing, I just like, well, I got other family members that are nurses, and maybe that is the avenue for me. But then being in it, I realized that is not my passion. That is not for me. I was trying to find something, and I've always been good with technology. And when I got the opportunity to do the internship and stuff, it really opened up my eyes to the technology world that I had been loving the whole time. So,
okay. So go ahead, Sonia.
Now, I was saying, what did you have to go to school for, and what did you get a degree in order to get in the technology field?
So I went to Central CBCC in Lynchburg, and I did information technology with a concentration of network technology. I started there, but I didn't finish. But then I did the internship, and I was doing well. But then later, I was like, I wanted to go back and get my education, so I went back to Wake Tech Community College in Raleigh while I was living in Raleigh, and I got 2 associates, one in information technology, network management, and then another one in business administration, project management.
Okay. Now, did you have to once you started your internship, was it a requirement to get the degree before you started, or is that just something you kind of just wanted to do?
It was something that I wanted to do to prove a point to someone.
Okay.
Point. But it wasn't required at first. But I will tell anyone getting into the technology field, at least have some idea of what you want to do, because again, technology field is very vast. Like, it's a lot of different avenues you can take. But I would encourage you to kind of know what lane you want to go in. Certifications are a big thing in the technology world. Having your degree is good, but certifications kind of get you further along.
I've heard many people say that. I've heard many people say that the certifications are almost more important than a degree in some aspects, depending on what you're doing.
I would say they 50-50, because sometimes you can study so hard for a certification, and then when you get into the real world, your certification means nothing.
Really?
Then you can have like, you can have education wise where you have that hands-on experience throughout studying it, and it kind of works out better. I've seen both. I've as being in here for 11 years going on 12, I've seen both. I've seen someone that is heavy certification and all they did was study for the certification to pass the test. But when it comes to hands-on things, they have no idea where to start. But
Okay.
then I've seen people that have education but no certifications, and they're kind of well rounded, but then you still have to have a mixture of both.
Okay. So I heard you say mention the business part and the project management. How's that tie into like? Is it a huge part or is it not a huge part of your day to day?
Um, for what I do now, I work a good part of with managed services, and managed services is like the third party services. So kind of navigating that service, it's kind of good to have like some business aspects so that you are able to help your customer and help the client to understand what is needed to be done. I got that as an extra because again, I want to my end goal in my end career is to be a project manager. So I just went on ahead and did it, but I'm glad that I did it to give me the business aspect to be able to understand both sides of the client and the vendor side of it.
Okay.
So when so now you said you work for the city of Raleigh. Are you over? Do you work for the city, or are you a contractor with the city, or what do you do now?
No, I work for the city of
Okay.
Durham. Yeah, for Durham.
And how is it working for? Because obviously Durham is a nice sized city. How is it working for a city of that size?
It's nice. My main customers are the employees of the city of Durham, so I
Okay.
don't have any like outward facing to residents. My main concern is the employees to make sure that they have the ability to do their job.
Okay.
So
So a lot of
they are my
interaction.
biggest customers.
So you
Go
have a
ahead.
lot of interaction with other people, right? Like so, how is the people relations part of it?
Uh, you have to have patience. it, I say that you have to have patience because everybody's learning is not the same as yours. You have to. Some people can get it. Some people you're gonna have to hold their hand in order to understand what you're trying to tell them.
Yeah.
So, customer relation is a big deal, a part of my job, especially dealing with the employees.
Have you ever worked? Have you only worked with employees, or have you worked with actual customers yet, or just employees?
Just employees.
Okay.
And my
Do you
main other big one is third party vendors. I work with a lot of third party vendors for the city.
okay? Working with just employees, do you feel like, I know you say you've never worked with customers, do you feel like working with employees is, I guess, simpler than it would be working with customers on the outside?
No, I think it's the same.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's the same, especially with their needs or whatever, because you still have to guide them through whatever you're trying to tell them or whatever their issue is, trying to get a clear understanding and help them to resolve it. So I feel like it's the same.
Okay. Now I know you said your end goal is project management. Are you is there a certain amount of time you have to have in the field in order to get to that level, or is it the certifications? Is it the education? Is it just the experience? Like, what does it take to get to that level?
So to get to that level, it takes education is a part of it. You get your first certification, which is called the CAP-M, for project management. But then after you pass that, you have to have, I think, 2 years or a certain amount of hours of experience in order
Okay.
to apply to go get your project management license.
Okay.
So it takes time, it takes effort, and it takes a lot of hands on in order for you to be able to finish.
Okay.
Are you going to do project management in the IT field or just project management in general?
Project management in the IT field.
Okay.
Do you want to stay with the city of Raleigh doing that, or do you just want to see where you just want to kind of see where life takes you?
I'm kind of like like I want to see where life takes me. I love being at the city. It is great. But whatever opportunity I can find, that would be aligned to what I'm trying to do or trying to accomplish, I'm taking those opportunities.
Okay, that makes sense. Do you? I know you say you started off as an intern. A lot of people hear intern and obviously don't want to do it. Because a lot of people are like, no, I need to get paid now. I need money. I don't want to work for free. And I know some interns pay, but was that did that kind of play a role into you accepting the intern?
I wanted the experience most of
Okay.
all. I mean, even though I did get paid, it was a paid internship,
Yeah.
but I wanted the experience because at the end of the day, my experience can take me anywhere.
Yeah.
In IT, like I
Yeah.
got the hands on. I know the knowledge. I can do whatever. So the experience was way more than the pay sometimes. Because sometimes even though they pay you, they could bring you back and then pay you
Yeah.
because you show that you are committed and you are have a work ethic. Like you, sometimes people have to realize outside of being paid is how your ethic is. How did you
Yeah.
do with them? How did they perceive you? If they liked you or not? Like you do a good job. That is the main thing with IT is like, are you going to do a good job?
Yeah, because I know it's a lot of jobs out there. Once you intern with them, if they like the work you do, they will bring you back as a full time employee. And because at that point, obviously, they already know your work ethic, they know what you do, and they know that you can essentially get the job done.
Yeah, so that's how I got full time with them is I interned for a year. It was an opening for a full time position. I applied for it and I got it because they
Okay.
had seen what I could do. They knew I knew my stuff, so it was kind of easy to transition from internship to full time employee.
Do you feel like some jobs will look at interns as do you feel like they have kind of a step up because they already know the system, they already know the company, they already been working with the company, so you're essentially going from doing sometimes even the same job, but you're going from an intern to an actual full-time employee, and I feel like a lot of times it's easier for the actual company. Is that true?
Sometimes it is. It all depends on what the company is or what the
Okay.
need is at the time. Some people can just do interns because they just need them to have extra hands. And then
Yeah.
other time, you can be filling in because not just internships, but as staff augment can be filling into a position and then apply for the full time because you have kind of a leg up because you know it, but then at the end of the day, it's still the boss or the manager's decision or if they choose you or not. So.
Okay. So another question. I know full time employee. Is there anything else you're working on at the same time while you're working?
Yes. So I'm working on my consultant firm. I've been doing it for a while now with local churches, helping them with their IT needs and stuff. But now I'm officially launching my business. It's called Beard IT Consulting Firm. You can check us out. Well, I'm working on getting my website and stuff like that. So, but if you ever need any IT, holla at your girl. I'm on
And
Facebook.
I know you just did a seminar at my church, and everybody spoke very highly of the seminar. So, you
Thank
know,
you.
yeah.
Now, for IT, what? Because I know IT is very, very broad. Do you do like the security side? Do you do the setup side? Are you in charge of networking? Like what exactly what part do you do?
So I work mostly with networking.
Okay.
And I can do setup. I can do in hardware, software, or anything like that. I don't do security. That's not my
Okay.
thing. Even though I will plug that a lot of people, if that's what you're interested in, I would advise you to go into that. That is very big right now. Cybersecurity is a very big thing. If you're looking
Okay.
for like a hobby or a second job, I'll just get into that. But I do mostly hardware, software, um, networking, phone services. I've done that too. So that's kind of where my area is.
Okay.
Social media too. Social media and all of that is kind of my area.
Okay. And did you have to obviously did when you went to school, did you learn all that stuff while you're in school, or is it just kind of being on the job, just that experience from working?
So experience mostly, but I did learn a lot of that in school.
Okay.
It kind of helps hand in hand what I learned in school when I do put to day to day because it kind of works the same. It's kind of not, but you can fiddle through to make, whatever works. But the knowledge that I gained from school kind of translates to my day to day too. So,
Okay. Now I know because a lot of people when they hear IT, they think it's a male-dominated field. Is it kind of a mixture? Like from the outside in, people may think one way or another. From your standpoint, is it kind of 50-50, or what would you say?
it's still a male dominated field.
Okay.
I am the only female in my division.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this second time I have been in my own division, and I am the only female, and I hold my own with them, and they respect me, because they know I do a good job. But it is now it's starting to get a lot better. I've seen a lot more females come in breaking into IT, but it has always been, kind of a male dominating field because I
Okay.
don't know if people get the perceptions like, oh, where you just on your hands and knees and pulling stuff. That is not
Yeah.
that is not that is not the case all the time. I sit at my desk, I click my keyboard, and I'm good. Like it's
Now,
not always what people think it is.
do you feel like the IT field is going to become do you feel like it's gonna require a lot more in the future, given the way we're going with AI? Being that AI is essentially starting to take over everything, do you feel like the IT field is going to start to expand from because you're essentially going a lot of times you're going from hard physical workers to somebody running a robot or somebody programming a robot to do a lot of the stuff that workers can do. So do you see the IT field expanding over the next couple of years?
I do, especially with AI. I feel like as smart as AI is, you still have to be, they still need somebody to help because
Yes.
they don't know all the things. They just know what you're putting into them. Like they can learn over time and develop, but at the end of the day, you still have cybersecurity, you still have networking. Hardware, software is almost going away because then now you have the cloud. So now you have to make sure that you understand what is in the cloud, what is the cloud, like understand what is takes to be able to operate that. So I feel like IT is going to expand a whole lot. I feel like it's going to be uncharted territory with AI, but the way that people are making it seem, you really going to have to know what you're doing in order to be able to fully grasp it. And the way it is, I don't think they're going to let AI go as far as it can go because of the danger of hackers and what they can do to make AI do worse than what it's intended to do. So,
Yeah. Because I feel like even though like AI, obviously a lot of stuff teaches itself, but I feel like you still have to have people behind the machines,
mhm.
essentially teaching the machines how to teach themselves, if that makes sense.
Yes, that's and I feel like people like, oh, well, I could just know. You still gotta know what to do, because if we just let stuff run wild, it ain't no telling how we'll be. Just like all
Yeah,
Yeah,
these crashes of banks and stuff, you still need physical people to go in there to figure out what's going on. How
yeah,
can I fix it? How can I handle it? So I don't think it's gonna take over as people think it is, but I feel like it's gonna be 50-50.
okay,
So.
that makes sense. You got any other questions,
yeah,
Nancy?
I do. Do you
Go
do
ahead.
you work with AI at all, as far as like any programming with it or anything like that?
Um, Not so far. Not in the city we have it. We know that it's coming. I think a lot of people are preparing for it, but local government is kind of slow to adapt in certain
Okay.
things. So, it's not, and federal is very slow to adapt anything. So, we not at that far yet, but we do know that it's coming, and I know that like our cybersecurity team is preparing for it. But right now, no, we haven't implemented anything, dealing with AI yet.
I'll tell you, it's weird though, Kendra. Like I got a at work, I have a virtual assistant.
Uh huh.
It's really really weird. It is.
I know, but that's the future though. Like, first we started with, everything. I say it's just like the Internet of Things, just like our
Yeah,
Wi-Fi and our Apple Music and everything like that. It's going that way. Either you
Yeah.
gonna move with it or you gonna stay stay behind and stay
yeah,
lost and be like, I ain't dealing with that stuff. That's kind of how my dad is when it comes to technology. He like, I'm not dealing with that. That's what I got my daughter for. And I'm like, no, you need to know just as much as I do. You need to know too. So it's headed that way.
That makes sense. You got any more questions to answer?
I'm good. She gave us a lot of
And
good information. Yep.
yeah, is there anything we left out or you think we forgot to ask you or anything else you just want to throw in?
Um, no, no, I'm just plugging my business. Hit me up. I do podcasts, I do websites, I do installation. I do very much the main thing I would say about I do live streaming, help
Okay.
the churches with their live streams. I've seen a lot of live streams that it's an audio and a visual thing. I
Yeah,
want people to realize that. Just because your audio is banging, your visual may not be saying the same thing. I plug that into everybody. So, if you need help, holla at your girl.
Yeah.
definitely. So yeah, definitely. If y'all need help, anything IT, definitely hit her up. Do you have or I know you say you're working on your website. Do you have an email address?
Yes, it is Beard IT Consultant Firm at gmail.com.
Okay.
Okay.
So we'll definitely put that down in the comments or down in the link. So if you need any IT consulting, definitely hit her up and she can help you out.
Yes.
Anything else? You got anything else, Anson?
I said we definitely keep track of you, keep
Yes.
track of you and your business as you grow. We'll have you back on the podcast. Anything major happening in IT, like any hacks, crashes, or anything, we definitely know who to bring back on.
Yes, let me know because I have my theories about a lot of stuff. So
Okay.
let me know. I have theories.
Yeah,
I just feel like people are lax and not realizing what is happening, and cybersecurity is a big deal. Just because you think that you lock something down does not mean that.
that's
It
true.
doesn't mean it at
Yes.
all. So it's time for people to realize just because it says to click on you doesn't mean you have to click.
Yeah.
There's a whole movie about that too called The Beekeeper.
That does
It's
not mean
funny.
you have to click on it. Okay? Use judgment.
Yes, definitely. Well, we definitely thank you for coming onto our podcast. Like we said, we'll put your information down in the comments. That way, if anybody wants to hit you up, they can. And
Okay.
if like I said, anything major happens in IT, we'll bring you back on. Anything major happens in your business, definitely let us know. We'll bring you back on.
Okay.
And as we always say before we get off every podcast, this is more than a podcast. We handing out crowns.
Hand them out.
Who the lover, who the hate? Who the realest in my circle? Who the one who be the snakes? Who gon' fold up under pressure? Who gon' understand the stakes? Who gon' wait to get they food to try to take from off my plate? Who the love? Who gon' understand I'm hurt? Who gon' love me unconditionally and try and make it work? Who gon' party once I'm gone and shed a tear once I'm in dirt? I ain't asking for too much, I'm trying to understand my